You know, for the longest time, we've treated data like it's a silent witness. We had to be the detectives, asking just the right questions to get any answers. But that whole relationship is changing, and fast. The next evolution of analytics isn't just about systems that can analyze data. It's about systems that can actually act on it.
This quote really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Raw data on its own is basically silent. It's just a bunch of numbers sitting in a file holding all these secrets. So the real challenge has always been, how do we get that data to tell us its story?
For decades, that story was locked away in these endless spreadsheets and really complex databases. To get answers, you either had to be a data expert yourself or you had to wait for one to finally get back to you. The data was there, sure, but having a simple conversation with it was next to impossible.
This was the central question, right? The one that sparked a revolution in business intelligence. How do we build a bridge between all this complex data and the clear, actionable insights that everybody needs? The answer, it turned out, wasn't just better spreadsheets. It was something completely different.
And this is where our two main characters come into the picture, Power BI and Tableau. Now try not to think of them as just software. Think of them more like translators. They take the complicated language of numbers and turn it into the universal language of visuals. You know, charts, maps, and dashboards that tell you a story in just a single glance.
What's really interesting is that these two tools have their own distinct personalities. On one hand, you've got Power BI. It's the practical, no-nonsense choice. Being a Microsoft product, it just fits perfectly into the corporate world, playing really well with tools we all use, like Excel. On the other hand, you have Tableau. Tableau is the artist. It's known for creating these absolutely beautiful, compelling visualizations that can completely captivate an audience.
Okay, let's make this real for a second. Picture a retail owner. This person doesn't have time to dig through sales reports from 20 different stores every morning. Instead, they just open up their tablet while having breakfast, and boom, Power BI has already painted a complete picture of their entire business.
So instead of staring at tables full of numbers, the owner sees the truth, visually. Bright red alerts pop up for items that are about to sell out. A simple green line climbs upwards, showing that a new promotion is working. A heat map even reveals which part of the store was busiest yesterday. Decisions that used to take days can now be made in minutes.
And then, on the other side of the spectrum, you have Tableau's incredible power to create an emotional connection. Instead of a boring static chart, a climate researcher created this animated globe. You could literally watch the planet warm up over 50 years as cool blues slowly shifted into these alarming reds. That kind of thing doesn't just inform people, it actually moves them.
So it's clear that visualization completely changed the game. But now a whole new player has entered the field and it's changing the rules all over again. And that player is generative AI.
Before, even with these amazing tools, you still needed a bit of technical skill. You had to know which chart to use, how to build it, and then you had to hunt for the story yourself. But now the whole interaction is completely different. You can just ask a question in plain English, and the AI not only builds the visual for you, it starts finding the story all on its own. It's not just following some fixed rules, it actually understands the context.
And this brings us to the main idea for today, agentic analytics. This isn't just about making charts a bit faster. This is about creating systems that are proactive. They don't just sit around and wait for you to ask the perfect question. They are designed to take the initiative.
Here's the crucial difference. The old way, you might decide to run a report on customer complaints. The new way, the system comes to you. It's like it taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, something isn't right here. There's a big spike in complaints for this one specific product. You should probably look into it. It finds the problem before you even knew you should be looking for one.
So how does it actually do all this? Well, it follows this simple but incredibly powerful loop. First, it constantly observes the data as it flows in. Second, it thinks, using AI to spot patterns or anomalies that a human might easily miss. Third, it acts, either by sending you an alert or, in some cases, by automatically fixing the issue itself. And finally, and this is the really cool part, it learns from the outcome to get smarter and better over time.
Now, I know this might all sound very business-focused, but honestly, the biggest impact of this technology is going to be in our everyday lives. This is all about creating data systems that work for you, often without you even noticing.
Let's just use a simple example. Imagine this. You're sleeping. Your car's sensors pick up on a subtle vibration in the engine that's just not normal. So the car checks your calendar, finds a free slot, books a service appointment at your favorite garage, and just leaves a notification for you in the morning. You didn't ask, the system acted.
Or what about your fitness watch? It knows you usually go for a run around 6 p.m., but it also checks the weather and sees there's a 90% chance of heavy rain right at that time. So around 5 p.m., it buzzes with a suggestion for a 30-minute indoor workout routine you could do instead. It anticipated your need and offered a solution.
And that is the true promise here. It's not about loud, complicated dashboards that you have to stare at all day. It's about quiet, almost invisible intelligence that anticipates, assists, and acts in the background to make your day just a little bit smoother.
What we're all witnessing here is a really fundamental shift in our relationship with data and with technology. We're moving away from a command-based world where we have to tell our devices every single thing to do, and into a new era of proactive assistance.
If there's one thing to take away, it's this. For its entire history, analytics has been a reactive field. You have a question, you look at the data, you get an answer. Now, it's becoming proactive. The answers are starting to show up before you even know what questions to ask.
And as we look to the future, this trend is only going to get faster and stronger. The most valuable and powerful AI systems are going to be the ones that work autonomously, for our benefit. The ones that observe our world, understand our goals, and take the initiative to help us get there.
And this brings us right back to where we started. All of this incredible technology, from visual dashboards all the way to agented AI, it all serves one ultimate purpose: to turn that silent skeleton of numbers into a living, breathing story that moves us to understand, to decide, and to act.
So the final thought I want to leave you with is this. As these systems get better and better at acting on their own, the most advanced intelligence won't be the one we see on a screen. It'll be the one we don't see at all, working seamlessly in the background to make our world just a little bit better.